Hey folks, this is Man once again. Now previously I had talked about Village of the Damned, the 1995 film, that, after that he had done Escape from LA, which, it's sad to say, I'm a fan of John Carpenter, and a lot of films, I love his films. Really, most of the films I've talked about were not hits. I'm not a fan of Memoirs of an Invisible Man, but it wasn't a hit. Body Bags, that was sort of more for TV, like cable. In the Mouth of Madness, this film was not a hit, which was a shame. Village of the Damned wasn't a hit, which, like I said before, I don't think it's that bad of a movie. Escape from LA, I know a lot of people don't like it as much as the original. I do. That was not a hit. And so, even before that, They Live and Prince of Darkness and Big Trouble in Little China, none of those were hits. And in the words of a good friend of mine, fucking shit. What's the deal? You have all these shitty movies, or all these mediocre films, like Wild Hogs made over $120, $30 million, somewhere around there. Big Mama's House makes shitloads of money, all these other films, and I'm like, am I missing something? Am I just, Prom Night makes all this money, the remake, and yet Big Trouble in Little China and The Mouth of Madness, this stuff doesn't? So in 1998, this was probably the time that John Carpenter was like, man, I want to retire, fuck this shit. I wouldn't blame the guy. He makes these films and they don't do well, and I'm sure people are like, what the fuck, John? So, of course, it gets to John Carpenter's Vampires, which was sort of... John Carpenter's a fan of westerns, and this is the closest he's ever gotten to doing a western. Now, Vampires is a film which I looked this up, and weirdly enough, this film was originally going to be directed by Russell Mulcahy. And, if Effrey is listening out there, Reese 007, you two better listen up. Not only was it going to be directed by Russell Mulcahy, it was going to star Dolph Lundgren. That's right. And instead, they went on to do a film called Silent Trigger, which is a film where Dolph Lundgren is a sniper, and most of the film is him and his the Watcher lady girl. They're going to kill someone across the way, and some people come in who want to eliminate them for a job that they didn't do years ago. This was a setup, and a bunch of guys come in and try to kill him. But yeah, Russell Mulcahy and Dolph Lundgren were going to star in Vampires. Well, Russell Mulcahy was going to direct. Dolph Lundgren was going to star. Which it would have been interesting to see. Dolph Lundgren's only time he did that was The Minion. I Count Peace is not really a horror film, it's more of a sci-fi action, but it'd be nice to see Dolph Lundgren in a capable horror movie, not like The Minion, which is shitty. But anyway, I've gone long enough. John Carpenter, this film is great. It didn't make that much money, made like 20 million, almost basically its budget back. And the plot is simple. You have James Woods, is Jack Crowe, one of the legend, the Slayer. Kind of weird that, Slayers, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and kind of weird saying Slayers, but yeah, he's a vampire slayer, vampire hunter. And like I said, Jack Crowe's a legend, and it's set up great. Truthfully, the best part is the beginning where they set up. I think that's a big criticism a lot of people have. Is that the best part's the beginning where you have all the vampire hunters going into this this place, and they set up their equipment. You have the team of hunters and get some colorful characters like which Baldwin? I always forget. Daniel Baldwin as James Woods' buddy, and then setting up their tools and how they're doing the job, and they'll hook a vampire and roll them out with the sand hook back to the truck so they burn up like crispy critters. And they hook them and they let them stay there, and then they put someone in there, have them like a wrench on the back of the truck to cook them. But after this job, Thomas Ian Griffith, who is the master vampire, so to speak, he was hiding nearby, sort of under the ground. And did Canby do the effects for this? I think they did. Why isn't that saying on you? Plus, Canby did do the effects for this, I remember. Great effects, because the massive vampire, like Jack Crowe's away, the guy opens the door, like the vampire, Thomas Ian, boom, right in the stomach, and he does like this. That guy like splits open, and it's all practical effects. No CGI, folks. No CGI. You get some great gore effects, practical. And that's a great thing about this film. There's really not much CGI at all. Like the vampires, if they're doing their tricks, it's all old school and wires and stuff like that. If Thomas Ian Griffith is supposed to be on top corner of a wall, it's just practical wires and stuff holding them up. And Valak, that's his name, Master Vampire Valak. So basically they killed the entire team except James Woods and Daniel Baldwin. And they find a girl who's been bitten. They take her because apparently a girl who's been bitten, she'll have a link to the vampire, the massive vampire. And they find out Valak's plan is to find this cross. And this cross, if gotten, will have the vampires be able to walk in daylight. And of course Jack Crowe and them have to stop them. Now I think the big criticism, like I said, after the very big opening where you set up the characters and get some action, effects, fun, kind of slows down a bit. Jack Crowe, they get this priest guy, played by Tim Guiney, or is it Guiney? Tim Guiney, forget. G-U-I-N-E-E, Guiney, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. James was trying to get him info, and he starts keeping the shit out of him and goes, buddy, I killed my parents, I killed people who I knew who were vampires. I have no problem killing with you. And that's probably the best part of this movie is James Woods. This is excellent. Badass character. Performance. Jack Crowe is up there with badasses. When you have lines like, what was the line? I know you're like, what the fuck did you forget? But I want to give it justice because Jack Crowe. Hey, let me ask you one thing. After 600 years, how's that dick working? Pretty good? How's that dick working? Or, oh, hey, Padre, let me ask you something. While I was kicking your ass over there, did you get a little wood? Asking a priest that, after you kick the shit out of him, and just like, what the fuck? Or like, he's like, let me tell you something about vampires. They're not some, Euro trash who, trying to seduce people. Wearing cheesy Euro trash accents. Like, garlic, you want to try garlic? They'll bend you right the fuck over and, take you up the strata chocolata, whatever he says, while sucking the blood out of you. They don't sleep in coffins. They put a stick right through his fucking heart. Sunlight turns into crispy craters. Just, I don't know, the way the dialogue was great. I don't know if it was James Woods or John Carpenter or both. But they did well with it. Daniel Baldwin, I actually kind of liked him because he was a weird character in the fact that he gets wounded. He always gets like a lighter and like, gets like a lighter. I don't know what about it. It just cracked me up. It cracked me up. And again, it's a great score. Ba 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 ba. Doom doom doom. Bow doom doom. Bow bow doom doom. Bow bow. Bam 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 bam. Boom 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 boom. Now, do I have problems with the movie? Let me get through the good stuff. James Woods is the best part of the movie. and Jack Crowe, great character. The priest guy, Tim Grinny, it's kind of nice that, you know, he's this sort of shy priest and he sort of comes into his own later on. And I believe it. The guy did a great job acting wise. Daniel Baldwin, he was actually pretty good. Interesting plot with the Black Cross. I thought that was an interesting plot. I like the Western. I'm not a fan of Westerns, but when it's in modern times and the way John Carpenter handled it, I mean, beautiful looking shots with the cinematography. I mean, the guy definitely loves Westerns and he knows how to shoot the film. And then great looking shots, great score.